And then.
And no and then.
And then.
Mead from Mouth Podcast. Join us, friends. Wow. That's very German.
Well, it's Rammstein. It should be.
It fucking better be, man.
It better not be the fucking Beach Boys.
They do amazing videos.
Rammstein?
Their videos are either creepy or hilarious. And the song you chose, the video's hilarious.
Yeah. Land, yeah. Yeah, the dude in that band, Richard ZK?
No, that's the name of his signature model. His name is Richard Crusp.
Crosby, but yeah, it's Richard Z. Crosby. He calls himself Richard ZK.
Oh, Andrew WK gonna be pissed.
But he's got another band that's not Rammstein. That is Emigrate, right?
Oh, I had no idea.
And
didn't either till yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
let's just say it's Rammstein 2.0 kind of. So.
Yeah, it's
Is Rammstein still a band? Or did
sure.
They disband?
They just finished like a huge ass stadium world tour.
Do they do anything but stadiums? I don't think
that's all they do, man.
Yeah, that's not a band needing to play like. Man, we're trying to play a smaller venue. Fuck no.
They did like 5 or 6 shows in the States, and 4 of them were in like L.A. and New York.
Interesting.
Yeah, they have it's a full production. I mean, it's a show. There's, pyro through the ass.
Oh yeah,
yeah, that doesn't.
So much pyro.
Very Northern Europe.
Yeah, I was like,
and those of you that know will realize, like, well, good, they've been doing that since the late '90s. Yeah, but they're rich now, so they put on a show. Not a show I'm interested in seeing.
No, not particularly.
I would have liked to have seen them when they were on the Korn did a Family Values tour in like 1998.
Yeah.
And it was Korn, Limp Bizkit, Incubus before anybody knew who the fuck they were, Ice Cube, and I'm missing one in Rammstein. And
I remember that vaguely.
It was
like, wow.
Yeah, it was the first time, and I bought the VHS that had like a performance from each of them, and then the brunt of it was Korn. But there's a song called, and I'm gonna slaughter the saying, Buck Dash. Basically like bend down in German. And there is a part during the second chorus where the rather gankly thin keyboardist will come to the front of the fucking of the stage, and the lead singer, who's a big hulking man, pulls out a dildo out of his pants and just starts smacking him on the ass with it as liquid shoots out. And I was like, this is the great.
Sounds like good stage production to me.
It was at that point I was like, this is the greatest band I've ever seen.
Yeah, so Emigrate has this one. If you can see what the title of the song is.
Okay.
Which is
always on my mind.
If you think, well, there's no fucking way the guy from Rammstein's doing a Willie Nelson cover. You'd be fucking wrong.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It's pretty terrible.
Okay.
That might be a little unfair. I think it's just fucking weird.
Weird, which also leads to terrible.
Yeah, it's not far from terrible, but it's at the bare minimum terrible, at the most fucking weird.
Yikes.
But hey, I went on a little bit of a deep dive on that band. They got a few good songs, but
Emigrate?
Nothing I would say we've been missing out our whole lives.
Yeah, I'll leave that shit to you. And you might be wondering, wait a minute, why are you assholes even talking about Rammstein to begin with, or Richard Z?
And why are you calling us assholes?
Yeah.
That's what I'm asking that person.
Yeah, everybody knows who they are.
That's right.
No, we had ESP Presents 2025 last night, and this is what they do once a year. Usually a couple of weeks into the new year, and they will release, here's all of our new shit coming for this year. We started this, I want to say, in 2019.
Yeah. Sounds about right.
And we've been catching it every fucking year. And it's an event around here, you know. We had that on last night. I think it ran about an hour 10.
A little on the short side, I think.
Well, because
if
we
I
got,
remember
we got a
right.
little spoiled in 2020, 21, because that was in the depths of the pandemic. They did like 2 hours worth of shit. And they had their signature artists, every one of them, like Gary Holt and all of them, long interviews, shit like that. It was pretty amazing. That's what they did that year. Ever since then, it's scaled back as 90 minutes and like about an hour 15. And last night was like an hour 5, hour 10.
And it was primarily pushing product.
Yeah,
Like not a lot of in-depth nothing.
you
outside
get
of
you
the
get your
guitar
signature artist like, hey, happy 50th birthday, ESP, and that's it.
And I'm
you know?
out.
And then you got Luis Khalil and a bunch of other ESP artists that they're known more for their shredding and things. They're known for their individual efforts than they are any kind of band effort. So,
Interesting.
yeah, in a way.
And they had a
Sorry,
really
It sounds lackluster though.
Now, having said that, there was still some shit. There was some shit that stood out. I think this year they did ESP USA better than they ever have.
yeah. Even a custom shop got in there for a little bit.
Which is bizarre. They've never done custom shop
I
before.
bet that the reason for that was because remember how it seemed like every year they would show off those guitars like that somebody had made that were just ridiculous.
Yeah.
They didn't do that this year.
Yeah.
So I think the fill-in for the custom shop
They
maybe made up for
I don't know why, but they did no Japanese references, period. There were no E2s, period, in
Right.
the entirety. Whereas years past, they would get their E2 luthiers over in Japan. They would do these crazy-ass guitars they would turn around and sell for like $20,000.
Oh my.
Yeah.
But I mean, they were just fucking just over the top dumb. They were just dumb. But they would like those proceeds always would go to some kind of a charity or whatever.
That's cool.
There was no mention of E2, no Japanese luthiers, nothing.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It was their LTD lines, ESP USA, and custom shop.
And real heavy on LTD. Super heavy.
Which is really where that's where their bread and butter is at anyway.
Fuck yeah.
I mean, an ESP USA nowadays, man, you're even just getting in the door, it's going to be $4,000, and which in the market right now, that's man, that's not unreasonable for what people make now.
Yeah.
I love that when people go, man, I used to get a Les Paul for $800. Is that back when you made $315 an hour? Because realistically, that means that guitar was actually in your day more expensive than $4,000 is this day.
Yes.
Right.
Maybe, I don't know, but without whipping out the calculator to determine all this, but I'm pretty sure it's right in that same zone. It's the same. Got a friend of mine. She's always complaining. She goes, "Well, my parents were able to buy a house for $30,000. There's no way that I'll ever be able to blah blah blah." It's like, yeah, but your parents made a lot less money.
Yeah, no shit.
Now, I also recognize we also live in a world now where if you think you're going to be on a single income family, go fuck yourself.
Yeah,
It's not going to
it's
happen.
not possible.
But a lot of that because people back in the day didn't have to pay internet bills. Goddamn, I'm paying
Right.
$140 a month, for the service I get out here.
Or if you got a high-end cell phone that you're paying the lease on and for the service,
Yeah.
man, that's $100.
Yeah,
Yep.
I mean there are so many bills we have now they didn't have then.
Yeah.
Sure.
So it does make it look like your dollar doesn't go as far now. But man, it does. It's just there are so many other outlets for us to spend money on. Have you been out to eat in a long? Well, we just went out to that pub up.
Went to the Yield Brewery.
Yeah. I didn't really pay attention that day, but I went out to lunch today with a friend.
Yeah.
On the bottom of the ticket, it used to be, what do you want to, here are some tipping guidelines for you. You want to give 12%, it's this amount. 15%, it's this amount. 18%, it's this. You know what it is now?
But
It goes up to like 25.
It is 18, 20, and 22 at the at the steakhouse in town.
ooh.
18's your fucking, that's
That's
the
your
price of
low
poker.
end?
Yeah.
I feel like I don't know what.
And
the
somebody
lower
was
end
bitching about it. Now, granted, it sounds like I'm going to come off as an old guy, but there was somebody bitching that's like, look, tipping is now 25%. And if you don't like that, fucking stay home, old people. That kind of shit. It was like some fucking Zoomer or whatever on a YouTube short. And I thought,
25.
I thought 25 sounds really high.
Yeah.
That's a quarter of a bill on food that is now exponentially more expensive
It's
than it used to
20.
be.
Right.
So, I mean,
interesting.
yeah, and I'm not going to be the guy coming in on the low ball number, but man, it does fucking underscore why I don't eat out much these days.
I mean, if it's a $20 ticket and I got a $5 bill in my pocket, I'm good.
Yeah, but
But
it's
you
not.
ain't getting out of anywhere for $20
no,
anymore.
man, no,
Unless you tip at McDonald's.
I
which I do not.
Yeah, a beer and a steak, and I was in it for $45.
How is a steak?
Not good.
I figured.
Yeah, we don't eat there because it's hit and miss. Oftentimes the food
I would love
comes
to see
out
a hit.
cold yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I've had really good meals from them, but then I've also had really bad meals. And just, yeah, it's disappointing.
So tonight, we're drinking a gift
Yes.
that Krista got me for Christmas. So why so late? Well, fuck you. We got shit to do.
Why so weak?
It's a local vineyard here in town. It's a 2021 estate wine, which means 2021 you're not even going to be able to buy that now. An estate wine, that means all the grapes that went into this were all grown on their property. That's what estate means.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So it's a really, really special wine, and it's a Chambourcin. I really, really like it. It's not too sweet, not too dry.
It's really
right in
full.
the middle.
Mm-hmm.
I really like it. If you like reds, Enchantment Vineyards. That's the Chambourcin, but or Chambourcin, I guess.
I say Chambourcin, but I don't know if that's
I'm pretty sure.
no accent on the I, so I don't know.
Yeah, I think
but
it's
isn't it French?
I think it's Chambourcin,
It might be Chambourcin.
because
Well,
the lady that runs the place, owns the place. I think she called it that one day. I went,
Okay.
oh, well,
that makes sense.
I'll try to.
I
I'll try to mirror you going forward.
Chamborkin.
Chamborkin.
Peanut Nor. Shout out to all the Steve Brule fans out there.
Oh,
How is it?
Cheers.
it's really
good as ever, man.
full-bodied, but not like Kev said, not sweet.
I don't like sweet wine. I like it to be as bitter as my soul.
It's
But,
really. I feel like it almost has it has some sort of fruit undertone. I don't know what though.
It does. It's almost like plum, but it does
Yeah.
have it has a little bit. There are some tannins. You can still,
not too many.
But it doesn't beat you over the head with
No, I don't do shards and merlots because it's too tanniny.
it. Little
but
sharts.
I like
Ooh,
it good.
the sharty
I'm
is.
very into middle of the
Ooh, this wine gonna make me shart later. That's usually what you. Yeah.
That's rough.
There are some Chardonnays. Chardonnays are a problem because they're either too tannic or too fruity, and very little in between. But once in a while, if you can find one that is kind of in between, you kind of make a mental note and
Honestly,
or buy a
theirs
case
is
of it.
pretty good. Theirs isn't bad.
Yeah, and then you got the legendary Ruben Gonzalez around here, who
Ooh.
it cannot be sweet enough.
Oh yeah, he loves that Moscato.
Moscato,
oh
man.
and their Moscato is so sweet I cannot drink it. And
man.
I of course maybe it's because I've kind of as I've gotten older, I've noticed I don't like stuff that's as sweet.
That makes sense. Yeah. Same.
It's like too much.
You're losing your sweet edge as an adult.
Maybe, or
Well.
can I be honest? It literally causes like my taste buds go kind of crazy, and it causes like a weird feeling in the back of my throat.
Oh no, I drink any Moscato, and it feels like I've been blowing up balloons for a couple hours.
Anything like that saccharine, it just makes me kind of cringe now. So I think I kind of zapped myself when I was younger.
So no Franzia chillable red here.
No, I'm not really. I'm gonna be honest. I guess even in my like heavy drinking days, I was always a snot, and I was like, I'm not gonna drink boxed wine, and so I never
I said the
did.
same until I got somebody brought over what's that little black box, the black box wines, and those are actually pretty fucking good.
Really?
I've heard good things.
I don't like to admit it, but actually, if it's that shit, I may very well get a glass. I might get myself a pool.
Let me pour.
But Franzia, you're right. That's you might as well be drinking Carlo fucking Rossi.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
So how the hell y'all doing today?
Man, I've been high all day.
Well,
Oh,
at least
yeah.
you've been doing something with your day.
Fuck yeah.
Well, it's a windy day. It was payday. And, it's nice to do nothing sometimes.
Yeah.
I cooked a steak today.
Well, hell, look at
Hell
you,
yeah.
man.
No, that shows you how special I am.
Did you do it on the end of a stick over an open fire?
No, and to be honest, I almost didn't. I almost didn't eat it because the night shitter bought it,
Oh.
That night.
and I was like, it was Tuesday, and there was like this fucking pretty good size, probably about a $20 steak, to be honest.
Well, that's most of them now.
Yeah, and I was like, well, what are we doing buying this shit? Here I am sounding like the goddamn paterfamilias at the
Yeah.
house. Like we can't be buying this shit.
You can't be angry about that man shit in the dark. He's saving on the power bill.
Oh my God, dude. And I know that's his mentality. Like, that's how he helps. He helps by shitting in the dark with the
That's
door
so
cracked open.
Goofy. I cannot.
And yeah, that fucking steak hung out in the fridge in a Ziploc bag till today.
So Tuesday to it's only 3 days, dude.
Yeah,
That's fine.
but I tried I was like, I don't want to eat that shit. But then Friday's like, man, I haven't had a steak in a while.
Fuck it.
I was like, fine, I'll fucking eat this shit. Should ask him to make it.
Yeah, if the weather didn't suck tomorrow, it'd have probably been a pretty good day for steak around here. But
Yeah, tomorrow's going to be nuts.
you got to kind of come to grips with the idea that it's January. Nobody eating fucking steak out on a grill in January unless you're in San Diego.
This is some bullshit.
Shit.
Everything good. Everything fine.
Oh, to close out what we were talking about earlier with the ESP preview 2025, what were some of the things that kind of stood out? For me, what stood out was like the lack of E2, no Japanese guitars. But what's some that like is like, man, yeah, or were there any? It was like, man, I could see myself getting that.
That new Stephen Carpenter 7-string. Of course, it's bright, but what was it called? The banana, banana guitar or something like that.
It's bright
so yellow. I was like,
None more yellow.
like not my first choice for Stephen Carpenter 7-string, but cool, new. Their Explorer body. What do they call that?
Yeah, they're EX.
Yeah, their EX.
Yeah.
That was pretty sick.
That's why I like that. Brandon's like, how are they not getting sued? I'm like, there are enough subtle differences here from Gibson shit. So
Yeah.
and ESP also has lawyers. They're not Dean.
But even in the name, like their version of the Explorer is called the EX.
That's right.
Their version of the Firebird is called the Phoenix.
That's right. And the Phoenix was the one I liked. That was the Richard fucking
Richard
ZR?
Z. Crosby.
ZK. The RZK3 is the guitar model. I was kind of taken with that. I can see myself playing some shit like that. I like the headstock and I like the bridge on it a lot.
You'd just be hitting that kill switch button over and over again.
It does. It has, they call it an arcade interrupter button. And I thought, I don't even know what the fuck that is. And I like to think I know guitars. You've been to an arcade. Mm-hmm. You know, the buttons at arcade games and you're slapping down on. That's exactly what it is. It's a button. It'll look just like an arcade button.
Oh, how fascinating.
And it's just, you can just go, to fucking just interrupt.
And it's mechanical, so it gives a nice little satisfying click.
It sounds like Brandon playing Guitar Hero in here.
Yes. You know what? That's exactly what it sounds like. You're absolutely right.
That's fucking hilarious.
That arrow that they had, that one is kind of a weird rusty red.
That satin matte kind of finish?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
they showed that like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah. Yeah. That was one that kind of recurred. They had a signature model of that one. They had a regular model of that one. I was kind of like, man, I get it. You're really pushing that one. And look out, because I might buy one of those fucking things one day. But
yeah. I like the matte finish or satin finish on a guitar. Shiny's cool, but sometimes
I love my Les Paul. I
Yeah.
mean, it's blue and it's very matte. I mean, there ain't
Right.
no reflection on that shit. It's almost like it eats the sun.
it absorbs everything brought to it.
Yeah, but anyway, it's a good ESP preview, I think, this year again.
I can't believe the guitar player from Exodus got a ESP custom shop signature or ESP USA signature. That was weird.
Well, if you do it for Kirk Hammett, you got to do it for everybody else in Exodus, right?
I guess. Props to anybody that still remembers Exodus is still a band.
Yeah. Isn't that where Gary Holt ended up? Yeah.
Yeah.
He ended up there after his stint with Slayer and shit, but yeah. But that guy's an old school. He's just like Kirk Hammett. He's an old school. You can look back and like, man, he's been a signature artist for a long, long time. So if we're talking about three letters, do you want to talk about NFL or UFO?
UFO?
Okay, let's talk about the NFL. So,
I got it wrong.
not one of us has got a team left in the whole fucking shebang.
Oh, that's no fun.
Mine lost on Monday night. Chris's lost last Saturday.
Mine lost back in September.
Oh, holy shit.
Brant, man, I have got to say this. I'm not really the biggest NFL fan at all. But you think you've seen everything. Like, well, I'm not going to be surprised by anything here. We watched about, 5 49ers games this year? 4 or 5.
Yeah.
It was a good number of them. Every time there was a single play, I had in the back of my mind is like, somebody's probably going to get fucking injured. Not every play that happened, but every game they would have at least 3, maybe 4 pretty big fucking injuries every game.
Holy shit.
I have never witnessed.
So just bad luck?
Yeah.
Almost? It sounds like?
Yeah, it just wasn't meant to be. And don't have your star player on the cover of Madden. Don't do that.
Yeah.
How about that? Let's not do that ever again.
Madden curse is real. I would love to say it's not, but it is fucking. There's only been a handful of times.
I didn't know there was such a thing.
Yes. If you have a football player from your team on the cover of Madden, which means they had a kick-ass year the year before, they're probably going to have the worst year of their life the next one.
Oh, my.
Put Mahomes back on it.
Mahomes. And that trickles over even like all EA Sports titles. I don't know about soccer.
What about golf?
Golf. They did the Tiger Woods games in his life. I mean, he's still rich, but he had some issues there.
Tiger is now on the competition.
Isn't that like where you play like video game golf or something?
No, it's actually the one we enjoy playing here, or used to once upon a time.
Oh, you're talking. Oh, I was thinking about like actually that golf he was doing that takes place inside like an arena.
No, I don't know about that.
It's like the American Gladiators of golf or something.
You're like me and you and Ruben and Jack over
here.
Oh, yeah.
No, in the game, yeah, I know what you mean.
But, yeah, because that guy used to be the EA poster boy, and I was like, man, this guy ain't making the money anymore. Let's get somebody else. Yeah, go ahead and have fun with Rory McIlroy or whatever.
The whole thing with his lady at the time.
Ellen Nordgren hitting him, attacking him with golf clubs is the best fucking irony that exists in the world.
And anytime South Park makes fun of you, you know you've arrived.
Well, and ordinarily, if you're looking at trying to get in the hole about, about 20 times, you're talking about usually the front 9 with that guy, right?
Yeah, no kidding. Do you have any idea how long we've been going? Because
no.
I've been looking over at my Audacity here, and the time code at the top is not updating. We're still recording. We're still live. But I don't know how long we've been.
We started a little later than usual, though, so I think we're probably maybe 20 in.
Yeah,
maybe.
We don't have a gauge for where we're at.
Well, okay then.
This is uncharted territory.
We'll enjoy our 4-hour podcast tonight, my friends.
God damn.
Other NFL shit, besides Brandon's cursed team. Friend Chris has his own shit going. A friend Jack is a Chargers fan. They lost on Saturday. My team lost Monday. So we have no interest now.
Oh, really?
Except one caveat. 2 teams we don't give a living shit about. If they make it, and the odds of them both making it are almost fucking insurmountable. One's the Buffalo Bills. They're semi-favored. That's fine. The other is the Washington Commanders.
Oh.
What used to be the Redskins. We're aiming. If those 2 make the Super Bowl, we're going to fucking have the biggest Super Bowl party ever out at this place. Why? Because why not?
Oh, okay.
Because we're along for the ride now. We're enjoying it. Every year it's stressful because most of the time Brandon's team going mighty, mighty deep in the fucking playoffs.
Sure.
Playoffs, but not this year.
Right.
Not this year.
Yeah, but that's all right because it always ends terribly no matter what.
Well, it can't be your year every year, right?
It hadn't been my year in 30 years.
Oh, well, I'm sorry to hear that.
But it's never been my year.
Well, then, there is that. But and again, I don't. It doesn't ruin my life.
Sure.
Or nothing. I love the 49ers. They're my team since I was a child. They're the team I'll root for. But if I don't know, I'm not the shit talker. I'm happy when they do good. I'm happy when everybody's teams do good.
But you finally got to feel like what I usually do when I'm rooting on your team, even when you're pissed off at them or whatever in the postseason. You're like, man, just enjoy it because that's what I do. Man, this year I'm the one stressed out and Brandon's over like, man, this is such a good time. Like, fuck you.
I don't know how to console anybody else like when their team does poorly.
I think it's a hard thing to do.
It is. Just be like, man, but we all know how the feeling.
Sure.
And as Boston said, more than a feeling.
Oh, my God.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's old-timey.
It's that song about Mary Ann, right?
Speaking of old-timey. Steeped in old-timey music. maybe not steeped, but fucking dude sending me hot licks all the time, or well, not all the time, but like I get more music from that guy, and he actually sent me some non-metal shit too, which is cool because the lowdown thing and everything else.
Yeah.
But it is time for us to get into our metal segment of the week. This is where we get the lowdown. What's going down with LJ? Ooh. Give me money for metal.
It's another year and another list of metal that ought to get your ears tingling in the best way possible. What's up, my little metalheads? Today we're going to go ahead and read off some more of these new releases that are coming out. And I just want you guys to know it's windy as shit outside. It's about to be freezing this weekend, so you need to stay bundled up. And what better way to keep you interested and indoors than to have something to listen to? So let's get down to some metal, shall we? Now, the first entry on this list, I thought they were a Christian metal band. I wasn't able to get exactly what they were because I'm only able to find one of their songs on YouTube from the new album. The band is called Amen, or Amen, A.M.E.M, like an acronym. And the album is called Argento. And I was like, are these guys Italian? Not to be racist or anything, but I went ahead and just looked at the names, and yep, these guys are Italian as shit. Even the comment section was all like Italian as hell. And I thought that was pretty cool. We don't see very many Italian bands on here. So, hell yeah, go ahead and check it out. They didn't really sound like metal when I listened to them. The track I listened to sounded like classical music, but you can tell which direction it can go in. This band is just bursting with possibilities. So go ahead and check out their album, and you tell me how it is, because I can't fucking find it. Because I'm lame. But my undercooked research skills aside, there's another band you have to check out. They're called Dragon Knight. This is their debut album, Legions. And they appear to be a power metal band, and they sound fucking epic. If you're a power metal fan, this is definitely right up your alley. Something that'll punch you right in the face as soon as your alarm goes off, because you're probably going to set it as a ringtone. You crazy fucker, you. Anyways, yeah, these guys have my little thumbs up. Seriously, I went and thumbs up their little videos so I could listen to them in my downtime at work, which my entire job is downtime, which is fucking awesome. Now, whenever you start to think of bands that are a little bit heavier than power metal but carry that same kind of energy, then you want a band that's probably mellow death, as in the genre, melodic death metal. We're talking about the band Thy Kingdom Will Burn and the album The Loss and Redemption. I'm actually really impressed with this band because their drummer sounds like a fucking machine. If you're into this kind of shit, I highly implore you to check it out. You can't call yourself a metalhead unless you have some death metal in your list, especially the melodic kind. Now, let's say that you're not in the mood for metal. Maybe you want something that has a cool groove that is kinda heavy but at the same time kinda chills out. Well, then you'll be looking for the band Idola with their album Mend. Oh yeah, this has some sort of funky groove to it. It didn't sound like metal at first, but then they started getting down and that shit took off. Check them out. Idola, E-I-D-O-L-A. It's positive as fuck, too. Now we're going to shift gears for a little bit and discover a band that I barely discovered, which is a new wave of British heavy metal band called Tokyo Blade, or as I like to call them, Tokyo Buredu. The album is called Time is the Fire. These guys are really classical sounding, and it kind of reminded me of Dokken, you know, that kind of stuff. A sort of a glam metal vibe to it, but, I mean, you have to check it out for yourself. Give these guys some views, man. They're good as fuck. And that's what I like. Whenever you have older bands still making music to this day and it still rocks. Even if it does sound like it's a little bit modernized, you know what I mean? Where it has some of the modern precision that you didn't have in like the 80s and stuff, where they seem to be a lot more garage bandy. But anyways, yeah, Tokyo Buredo, check them out. But now for one of these lists, I finally have a pièce de résistance. We're talking about I've saved the best for last. This hasn't happened in a long fucking time if you've been keeping up with this podcast. We usually have, hey, awesome band, and then it just goes downhill from there, or it's just a steady bottom line that goes all the way across, with occasional bumps in quality. But now we have the band Blacktoothed with their album Headway. Listen to this fucking album. On second thought, go out and buy a physical copy of it, because these motherfuckers rule. I actually ended up saving them to my Discovered Metal playlist, and I'm going to jam the shit out of them until I get sick of them. And that's all we got for this week. Take it back to the Mead Hall. Guys at the Mead Hall, let me know what your picks were for this week, and also send me some recommendations that if I didn't mention any on the list that you saw or listened to, then send them my way. That's all I got for this week. Take care, motherfuckers. I will see you next time. Rock the fuck on. See ya. Someday you too will know my pain. Smile its black tooth grin.
This is the 65 Corvette Stingray. Looks like it means business. And it does. These new functional side vents help cool the engine. And new this year, disc brakes all around. Try the 65 Corvette. Put yourself in the cockpit and find out why they call it Stingray. You'll see what driving a real sports car is all about.
Okay, that makes sense now. I was like, what the fuck is this? I'm like,
Oh, this is Wizard Tattoo.
yeah. I was like, all right.
I almost just want to leave it playing in the background.
Yeah, it's got to work its way into the inner weave of this realm.
The mythos of the Mead Hall. Yes, it is. It is a huge part of it.
Are you a wizard with a knife? Well,
And do you like to fight?
God.
Oh God, I'm so glad we're able to infect others with this man too. I feel like we're really doing good work for Wizard Tattoo.
yeah.
We might be the first folks actively promoting them.
Shit, no. LJ is now posting
Well,
shit,
that's
too.
because us.
Fucking dead.
Hey, it's filtering Dune.
You'll all eventually know Wizard Tattoo.
I'll fucking make sure of it. I'm gonna play it at work all the time.
All the time. All the time. It'd be like, oh, it's going to be known as that weird dispensary in town.
Oh yeah.
Can you play whatever music you want without upsetting people, or is it?
No. Well, I mean, I can, but people will get upset.
You can't be playing like Rain and Blood or
Oh
anything
no,
like
no,
that.
I don't play like I don't play really anything heavy, but I will admit, coming from a place where we had to play licensed music that we couldn't really pick, and it sucked ass and took
Yeah.
the soul out of the place.
Because they once upon a time were able to.
Oh, I remember.
So if you fucking put that genie back in the bottle, that genie going to be pissed.
Yeah, for sure.
And then went to a place like, yeah, dude, just play whatever you want, just make sure it's not too loud. I'm like, yeah, okay. So I will admit, the first 2 weeks I was there was pretty much like fucking Nordic folk metal.
Yeah.
Just purging the like Paul McCartney Christmas music out of my fucking head.
Hell
Sure.
yeah.
And but about 3 weeks in, owner pulled aside. It's like, look, man, like I said, you can listen to whatever you want, but if like an elderly couple come in, like turn it down or have something else ready.
Yeah.
Because I guess they're like that motherfucker, and they're listening to some devil music, and we're not a fan.
Well, we do live in an odd
Yeah.
place in the world for that. So.
This place is still very. I had at work the other day, people like go off on trans people, and I just kind of was like, okie dokie. I keep forgetting that I live in a space where this happens.
What are these people fucking bored?
Yeah, I think
and
they're
real-
just drinking the Kool-Aid.
Yeah, and it's really weird to me because you don't have to go. You go maybe not too far west. That is where the Bible Belt begins, and it goes from there all the way east,
Yep.
all the way to the coast. And like, well, there you go. If you see a town full of nothing but Church of Christ, you've got a thing. You got a you're
Just keep
living in an interesting area, I will say. I went to a place not too far west of here once upon a time with a crowd of friends. There was a rodeo. Went to Socorro.
Yep.
And going there and was like, hey, it's a Sunday. Can I buy beer? And they were looking at me like I was a fucking like, yeah, why wouldn't you be able to buy beer? It's like, because I live in a part of the state where you can't buy beer on Sunday unless you go to the bar and you drink and get shit-faced and then drive home. That's okay. But you can't go and buy liquor supplies to take home with you on a Sunday.
Yeah.
That's the way it had always been until about, 4 or 5 years ago.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. As soon as Clovis had it, where it's like, yeah, bars are open on Sunday. Package stores aren't, but bars are. Going to Clovis quite a bit.
Yeah.
Man, yeah. So, yeah, the message the state sends, like, don't drink and drive. The message they're really sending is, well, you got to do what a motherfucker got to do what he's got to do, right?
Motherfucker, you're an adult.
So it was so stupid. It's like, why are you doing this? And eventually, at some point, somebody finally got their head out of their, that had been wedged in their ass since the 1930s and went, How about we let these assholes drink beer on Sunday? And because even to this day, if I go to the store on a Saturday, I find myself just, even if I'm not drinking, I find myself like got a weird like little thing hits. It's like, man, should I grab some liquor since it's Saturday and
Saturday won't be able to get it tomorrow.
Case I can't get it tomorrow. Yeah.
And that's the thing though.
It was a culture shock for me. I mean, I obviously wasn't of drinking age until, I was much older when I
but you're
moved here.
aware.
But yeah, but like to just experience, I was like, what the fuck?
It can be it was a hell of a thing living here when it was dry on Sunday.
Sorry, Chris, I was looking at your big old titties over
Oh
here.
yeah, they're really nice, aren't they?
The drinking out of a tumbler with
Oh
good
goddamn!
Lord, I approve.
Yeah.
Where'd that come from? Is that a dispensary
It's
thing?
a Gamer Sups cup.
Oh no shit.
Yeah.
That's all right.
What is that?
I don't entirely know. Frank introduced me to it, but basically it's got really hot, big tittied women
Yes.
on all of the cups.
Of the anime variety.
Yes, anime
Indeed.
style. Yeah, we have stickers and cups, and they also do like supplements, hence Gamer Sups, and the supplements are okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I
So,
dig.
yeah.
No, I dig.
I'm here for it. I, like it a
I
lot.
can't move my eyes.
This particular one is a gal smoking some joints. And
Yeah, it looks like some
weed
jazz cigarettes.
paraphernalia. Yeah, we're having
That's
a good
right.
time, so.
Hand on half a titty,
Yeah.
Well,
for sure.
yeah.
and the joy is felt.
We all have needs.
My oh my gosh, my little weed tray is that. And
Okay.
with a magnet that came with it, so you could actually enclose and carry if you wanted, like.
I don't
some
have that
J's with
ability.
you or
Mine
whatever,
is ancient
but-
and old school. Mine is a zigzag tray
But
That's right.
that a
Classic.
brilliant
yes,
bastard bought me
and
for
that's
Christmas one year.
okay. But the magnet's on the fridge because I was like, why would I put that anywhere else? So anyway, that's a good time.
How now I know what Brandon's answer is. How okay, so weed's been legal, recreational now, what, 3 years?
Yeah.
Or we're coming up on 3, I guess.
Okay.
How open to the public are you about I guess either it's consumption or it's in the terms of display of things or whatever, or shit that'd be on a shirt, or how open are you with that?
So I have a couple shirts I don't really wear. The cup kind of I do because I'm just like whatever. But the shirts I'm kind of hesitant about because I always end up running into someone in town that like is more a professional relationship, and I'm like motherfuck, like I can't.
Yeah.
So I'm not because I have to be careful because as a nurse, like technically since I'm drug tested at any time, like smoking weed is a no
Oh,
still. So.
sure. But drinking wine.
Yeah, I know. I can be drunk.
Hello.
Yeah, whatever. But anyway, I don't make it make sense. Hopefully soon. But
Because that's the other thing, too, because you get people go, well, you live in a state where it's legal. It's like, that might be true, but that doesn't mean that an employer has to suffer your fucking
because
shit.
most employers, especially if they're like national employers, like they're going to follow national, you know what I mean? And so since
Right.
it's not federally legal, like you're kind of SOL.
Well, I wouldn't want to have, like, somebody driving a goddamn train, like, smoking a spliff. I don't think I'm okay with that.
No, and I think that's okay, but I also think that you can say, hey, like smoking weed is okay. You have to just like with alcohol, how you have to stop X amount of time or like whatever. The problem is, of course, is the metabolism of
That's it. That's exactly
the
where I was going to go with that, because you can say, man, I go home and I smoke a J and I call it a night, and and the world's great, and I wake up and drink some coffee, come to work in the morning, and all is right in the world.
So that's ideal.
But the problem is, so then if they get to work and then something gets fucked up and then they drug test them and go, well,
then you're fucked.
you got it in your system. It's like, yeah, but that was last night.
Exactly.
Weed stays in your system for a month, but it's the psychosomatic
psychoactive
effects,
parts.
Psychoactive, not psychosomatic, the psychoactive portions of that, it's gone in 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah, I really wish I don't know enough about like how marijuana is metabolized in the body, but if I feel like there's got to be a way where you can figure it the fuck out.
I think that's how it is. Like these places saying like, oh, you've had in your system, so you're clearly high right now.
Yeah, I don't.
Because you can do that with liquor. You can go, well, if liquor's in your system, you're still drunk. But,
With marijuana, it's not the same.
I just cracked a bottle 3 hours before this test. No big deal. I'm drunk now.
That's talking about straight
'Cause,
up like the state where we're from.
I remember testing, I had quit and I had tested positive for weeks because it was still in my system, even though I hadn't consumed it for, weeks.
Because you'd been having some tweeds. So,
I don't think I'll ever be able to pass a drug test for weed ever again.
I don't know. As fat as I am, it'd be months, probably months, because everything goes through the liver. And man, I've been, how everybody enjoys the holidays? I ain't quit.
Still a holiday. We got MLK on Monday.
Still going. We got Memorial Day. We got 4th of July
Day coming up.
I mean, I might as well just keep this ball rolling.
Always. And then Patty's Day coming. I mean, goddamn. Easter,
Patty's
the biggest
Day,
drinking holiday of all.
Patty's Day, I like to abstain from liquor and look down my nose at everyone else. Cause, no, I don't do that. I used to go out for, I don't know, I haven't been a normal human in about 5-6 years now.
It's just not that fun anymore.
Oh, I don't know. I can have better food at home than I can in public.
Actually, I take it back.
I hang out with better people here.
That's fair.
By a percentage than I do in public.
Sure.
Everything about what I've done and how I've adapted over the years is better than I can get in public. So it's hard to convince me to go in public.
I went to a restaurant last night that was really good in Albuquerque. So I will say, I was like, okay, but
Where'd you
it was
go?
a brewery restaurant. It's called Ex Novo. So they're like a microbrew.
I was assuming it wasn't a Brazilian steakhouse.
No. It's really good.
Chance be back.
We had we had an opinion that day.
Oh yeah, that shit was wild. But I had a barley wine called Nevermore. So it was
Good
really
Lord.
Yeah, it was very it was
haven't
dark.
had barley
13.5% or better.
It was
yeah.
like 12.5%. Yeah, they did a very short pour.
I'd say the only thing about that's like port wine, right?
Yeah, it's basically what it is.
It tastes like somebody dumped a stout in your red wine.
Theirs was really interesting. Yeah, but so they had had been aged with like plums, and also they did something with like cocoa beans and
The cocoa bean.
and it was aged inside like red wine barrels, and it was very exotic and very lovely. And I was like, man, this is appropriately named because Nevermore,
Yeah.
anyone who knows Poe.
I know
and
Poe.
So I'm a
Poho myself.
I am a huge Poho, so
I got the entire.
I need to. I don't have a full anthology, but I keep meaning to buy
The
one. I
Poho
just
on the
forget.
down low.
It's good shit.
Love everything about Edgar Allan Poe, except for the football team in Baltimore that decided to take his shit and run with it. So.
At least they didn't put him on the side of their helmets.
Correct.
Am I correct in assuming the Baltimore Ravens are the East Coast Oakland Raiders? Is that?
Well, with way more success.
Oh, okay. Well, there's that. I guess there's that.
Same mentality, just they win Super Bowls and playoff games.
So let's see. We talked about ESP. We talked about the NFL. Let's talk about UFOs.
Okay.
Do you see a lot of them around here, or things that you think may or may not be?
No, I don't go outside.
Okay, good man.
I mean, at night, because I look up at the sky a lot at night, but like the shit I see in the sky is like Starlink or planes or the planets or some
Which,
stars.
by the way, Starlink's the weirdest shit. You can
It is
see in
very
the
strange.
That was crazy.
So no, I don't really see. I see a lot of shit. Like if you are out long enough, and I do a lot when I'm driving, shooting stars, a lot of that.
Meteor showers are. This is like where you want to live if that's your bag. But you do, and you get shooting stars year round anyway. But,
yeah, it's so lovely.
But it's not so often you get one where you're driving down the highway and you notice like basically everything in the firmament is where it is, except one thing is still moving along with about where your speed is at.
Interesting.
And then when you come up to a stop sign, it stops. So does that thing in the sky.
Oh.
And I started thinking, well, maybe it's just like a fucking drone or some weirdo doing. I don't know. Who knows? Don't know, man. But it kind of. But it really certainly did remind me of a situation I'd had that I think was an actual that shit. I don't know. It's unexplained. It's weird when you get like a light that follows you, and it's not like it's like 50 feet off the deck. It's like way up. It's like I don't know. It's way up in the sky. Who fucking knows?
In a very rare occasion and not for a very long time.
But I did have one out in Southern California a long time ago in the early '90s when I was in the Marines. I was driving down this rural road because, like an asshole, I decided I want to live 45 minutes from work. So,
shit. Okay.
So I had to drive through kind of a weird rural avocado orchards and shit, and a hilly mountainous area, and just roads with cutbacks and everything else. I was driving along, and there was a bright light in the sky that kind of stayed there and hung there. And I thought, well, somebody fucked up and they fired some kind of flare, and it drifted way off range or whatever. Well, that flare stayed with me for about 4 miles.
Oh, shit.
and it kept getting brighter and brighter. It's like, well, there's no drift from west to east here.
Sure.
It's usually, it kind of hits and it pushes everything south. But it stayed there, and it got brighter and brighter. It was like a big, bright orange light. I came up and hit a stop to where it basically would run me underneath of an overpass and onto a highway on the 215 and get my ass home. I hit the stop sign, and this fucking light gets brighter and brighter, and it looks like daylight outside. And I thought, this ain't a flare. I don't know what it is, but I know what it's not. And I fucking jumped on the gas, got the fuck out of there, because the hair on the back of my neck started getting up.
Yeah.
And I thought, whoa, this doesn't feel right. Fuck this. I'm gone. Let's see if it chases me down the interstate, which it did not. But so then I get people that are anti-UFO, because that's legit. That's what they are. It's like everything has an explanation, and it can't be UFOs. If that's your mentality, you're wrong.
It was swamp gas, motherfucker.
But it was one, and it would follow the hills. It would follow the fucking cutbacks and everything. And it was staying in a range where I'm getting flooded with light pretty constant. And I get on it, and I'm able to lose it a little bit, but then it kind of catches me because I'm having to take all these twists and cutbacks, and this thing's fucking going just over terrain, you know.
Wow.
So I don't know, man. I've had one experience in this shit earlier this week where I'd had kind of a point of light following me. It was reminiscent of that shit, but so I don't know. I've never asked you to before. It's like, you had fucking UFO experience before.
I never have, never. And I mean, I've driven through like some secluded areas.
Well, I don't
primarily between here, Mescalero, and Roy.
I don't think the aliens are hanging out in the secluded areas. They're like, we're going to examine these assholes. We're going to get up close.
Well, the ones you want to examine are the ones that never come out of their houses, like in Roy.
There you go.
Jesus.
Oh, God, yeah. There's a stretch where you can drive. You can drive through 2 towns and never see a living human being.
Correct. Yeah. Every time I'm supposed to slow down in Tayman to like 50. I'm like, why? I literally have never seen a soul outside.
You're going to all piss off. I'm doing 70 through your town.
like the shitbag that I...
Yeah, what are you going to do about it? Show up?
Yeah. What are you going to have, a cop just materialize out of nothing?
That's how horror movies start.
Oh
you break
God.
a law in that little shit town, they're going to arrest you and put it in you and fucking...
Roy Mosquero feels like an area that it's prime for that.
Yeah.
I've driven through Roy and Mescalero multiple times.
Mosquero.
Blech.
Mescalero, I see people all the time.
They're having a good time over there. Yeah, every time, man. I have never, and it's been during the day, during the middle of the day, during night, during late at night, never a fucking soul.
That's so weird.
And you know that like old-timey looking gas station they have in Mosquero?
Yeah.
I've actually gassed up there like 2 a.m.
Oh, shit.
And it was
the balls on this guy.
Yeah,
well,
I'm like, no, we ain't, because I've stopped in small towns to gas up, and I was like, this was a really bad idea, and I don't think I will be doing this ever again, because it was just
it was weird how quiet it was.
Yeah,
it's unsettling.
Yeah.
Yes,
You know, and to go through. Yeah, and Roy's a bigger town. I mean, you can look. They got city blocks and everything else. Like, well, clearly we'll see some people. No, you will not. No, you don't.
'Cause that's not
You
how
don't
this works.
Man. So when Stephen King came up with the idea of Children of the Corn, I get it.
yes.
I get it.
Yeah,
It
this
was more like
state is
Village of
very
the Damned.
fascinating. With
Yeah,
all of its,
good and bad.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it's like each corner is a different entity.
Yeah.
Kind of.
And then Berkey and Santa Fe in the middle.
Things get even weirder when you get to like the northwest quadrant, where you get. I mean, I don't know. I don't know where you're at on what you think about with spirits and things like that, but I think you get a lot of weird ancient things, and some are benevolent and some are malevolent.
Well, there's a lot of death up there.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of,
Southwest corner really similar in a lot of ways. Northeast corner, I don't know. I think you're going to get a lot of weird things. Anytime you have like an inactive volcano, I think it's going to draw
I love
some
it up
odd
there. It's
shit,
so cool. Absolutely. No, there's.
Southeast corner, well, it's really just Texas's shoulder, so.
I do like Carlsbad, like the caverns. I don't know. This state definitely has a lot of energy. That's why there's a draw to.
Yeah,
I
and if
think
you're
people
brand new
are
to
down
this,
here.
by the way, we're talking about New Mexico, just
Yes.
but I don't know. It's just you get some weird vibes in the more in the middle of nowhere it is, and it depends on where you're at. It's that weird the two towns we were talking about. I get an unsettling vibe there. Whereas if I get out in the middle of fucking nowhere, out.
Do you feel okay, like between Fort Sumner and Santa Rosa, where there's like nothing but desert for miles?
I don't really stop there, but like out toward Vaughn or something.
Okay.
I don't really get the weird vibes out there. I get
It's just empty.
I just look because it's like, well, this is where the UFO activity is at. They can talk about Roswell, but realistically, a lot of they're. According to one old gal that I used to talk to who's no longer alive, she was born and raised in Corona and said that no, they would get UFO crashes. They had a few, she said. Now, I don't know. She a crazy old lady?
Yeah.
Yes, but still out there, it's fine. You get an alone vibe, which I'm completely comfortable with, but it's not a weird vibe. Man, you get out there to that shit we were talking about with Roy and Mosquero. You get a weird vibe because of those towns. Where is everybody?
Yes.
If you got a town of 800 people, where the fuck are they all
Where is
at?
everyone?
They don't have hotels, and I'm sure that's for a reason.
Yeah. And you're a dummy if you're gassing up in fucking either one of those towns, because the gas is going to be 25 cents a gallon higher.
I thought I could make it from
sometimes
Colorado Springs back.
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
I was
sometimes you
wrong,
make
and
some
that-
goofy choices.
And after that, there is nothing.
no.
And I was like, Dad, less quarter of a tank. I was like, I have to do this. If I get raped, I get raped. Whatever. This was a sex vacation already.
I like that that's your first concern. I appreciate that.
I feel like that's people's first preference when they're
It
going to
is.
fucking kidnap you. It's like, well, I'm going to put it in you because I can. Why
Yeah.
not? I'm
I think
here.
you've watched Deliverance too much.
Well,
Dead Beatty.
and more than likely murder after that
Yeah.
because I'm going to go fucking tell everybody.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, sure. You got to put you down then.
I mean, I'm going to say it on the podcast, but I can make it interesting.
Be like, Brad Pitt, put that dog down.
Went to Mescalero, gassed up, and got it put in my hole, but he let me go.
Which, by the way, if you're a Brad Pitt fan, you must watch a movie from about 20 years ago called California with a K.
That's a good one.
Yeah, and you'll learn that maybe you'll think to yourself, man, Brad Pitt might be the most versatile actor in Hollywood, and it'll occur to you then it's like Brad Pitt might have the possibility of being the most creepiest fucking actor in Hollywood.
Goddamn right.
You've seen it, yeah? Mm-mm. Okay, well,
It's a good one.
the guy that did the Red Shoe Diaries,
No,
David Duchovny.
There you go.
He, of course, naturally I make a porn reference.
And now.
He and his wife or girlfriend, I don't know, but he's like a master's student, which is only weird because he's probably like 40. But he's
He's just not very good at it.
pursuing his dreams.
tracking down. He's a serial killer researcher. And so he plans to do this shit. They're like in the Midwest or whatever, and to drive to California, and the whole drive out there to stop at all these serial killer sightings and everything else. Well, you got Brad Pitt and Juliette
Lewis.
Lewis.
Interesting.
Playing a couple of fucking hillbillies, and I don't I think that gives them too much credit, actually. But
Oh no, man! She says goodbye to him by popping a titty out just to make sure he comes back. I mean, come
yeah,
on.
but
Oh my.
but he plays a better weird, creepy, violent redneck more so than anyone I've ever seen on the big screen.
Oh my. Interesting.
Brad,
I've always thought Brad Pitt was a good actor.
man, he
he-
nails
Big
in
fan
that
of his
role.
work.
He really made a lot of good movies in like the 90s, I want to say. Like Seven, he's phenomenal in, and
7 is great.
what else was he in where I don't know, it's a movie where he plays the devil. I can't think of the name.
Oh,
of
Meet
it.
Joe Black.
Yeah.
He's
it's
not
so
the devil.
sweet.
He's death.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
a little
It's
difference,
been-
a little difference.
Yeah, there is. No, you're 100%. It is death. Yes, you're right.
Really enjoyed Interview with the Vampire.
Interview, he does a great job. Yeah, I don't know. I really have always liked Brad Pitt. And see, this is where it's like, you know, I've heard weird things about the divorce with Angelina Jolie. And I was like, this is why I don't want to know, like, people's personal lives. Because I have a hard time separating, like, art from the artist. So, like, if someone is, like, a shitbag person, I have a really hard time liking their art.
yeah.
I'm not going to watch like The Naked Gun and go, well, there's OJ. At least he's good here, right? No, I'm not going to do that.
And if you're
But-
watching Naked Gun just for OJ, you're an idiot.
I don't
Well,
even know what that is. So, shit.
Now, Brad Pitt, though, man, that guy was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and might be my favorite role that guy has ever portrayed, playing Cliff Booth. And, yeah, the old veteran in Hollywood's golden, not golden era, but they're like the dying era of when Hollywood was king. And,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that guy and Leonardo DiCaprio just nail it. I mean, I thought I would never love a movie more than Pulp Fiction, Tarantino movie, more than Pulp Fiction. I
Yeah,
don't know,
really
man.
like
Once
that.
Upon a Time in Hollywood. And people don't agree with me, but that's only because it's only just been in the last, like, 4 or 5 years.
Okay.
Let's give it about another 10, and people start agreeing with me. So.
Sure. Are y'all
Right.
are y'all Neil Gaiman fans? Do you guys know who that is?
I'm aware of some of his books, and the reason I'm aware, because he did one on Norse mythology that a lot of people
Oh.
like to quote, but it's entirely fucking wrong.
Okay.
It's trash.
Interesting. Sure.
But I understand lately
Yeah.
he's
there's-
been he's done other things.
Yes. Yeah, precisely. Court of public opinion stuff. But yeah, that's what makes me think of like separating art from artists. Because I'm like, okay.
Well, when it's so easy to just know everything
Yeah.
about
everyone.
anyone.
It sucks.
When you're not famous, you're oversharing
Uh-huh.
shit. When you're famous, people will find shit out.
Absolutely.
And all you got to do is open an app or fucking turn on the TV even.
Yes.
And you're going to find out everything that you really is not going to help your existence at all.
Sure.
I got a grandmother watching news every fucking day.
Yeah, I bet she's kind of a mess.
I mean, because she gets affected by things,
Of course.
especially like highly catastrophic things, like the
Yes.
LA fires.
And unfortunately, there's a lot of that going on, and they're covering
Yeah.
some really horrific scenes. People don't realize you can actually be traumatized from watching the things
and
happen.
she
You don't
is.
have to physically
She
be
is.
there because your body still has a physiological response to the
Right.
things that it's seeing because it doesn't know that it's fake.
She's also a little dark, though. She just wants to watch the inauguration on Monday just to see if Trump gets shot.
I mean, I don't blame her for that.
Well,
No,
I'm
it's not
curious
something
to
she's
watch-
rooting for.
No,
But
I
she's just curious.
I feel like
think-
that's some karma that's a little hard to eat.
I'm curious for the spectacle of it all because if Trump does anything well, it's making a spectacle. And so it's almost like a train wreck. I can't look, you can't look away. You want to watch it.
Well, he's gonna have to worry about his co-president, right? I mean,
Yeah, Vance is also.
no, Elon Musk.
his
Oh,
Cobra.
I'm sorry. Are
his
we talking?
Cobra.
So I hear there's issues, but things are happening between them, and a lot of Bannon doesn't like him, and it's causing all kinds of rifts. And
Elon
things.
Musk. Nobody
Yeah,
likes
yeah,
him.
yeah.
Nobody likes him. He's an asshole.
You could
Y'all
never be
hear
a long
he
time
cheated
friend.
on a video game. He hired someone to play a video game
Oh,
so he could be
yeah.
top 10, and it turned out to not be him. I wish I could think of the name of
That's a
the
certain
game.
kind of cat.
That sounds right.
It's a really hard game though, I guess. And I was just like, this
Guitar Hero.
No,
it's
what?
not.
Damn it!
Soul-
I'll look it up after
Soul's
the
Game.
show.
Hired
Soul's
me,
Game.
probably.
But yeah, I just
Call of
thought it was
Duty.
such a like. Why would you do that? Like, what a strange thing.
He wants to win
It's
every
so,
time.
like-
He was the 5-year-old that would run around his yard and go, well, this is a race and I'm going to win.
Yeah.
And it's like, of course you are. You're the only
You're the
child.
only
It's
person
like, no.
there.
My imagination. I'm the best.
Yeah, that's
I'm the
so-
best.
It's wild. What a funny thing.
What a
if
fucking
it wouldn't be
weirdo.
so
All right,
scary.
well, we need to probably wrap up. Yeah, Brandon?
I think we can.
I'm getting the look from Brandon like, hey, you might want to shut the fuck up here in a minute. Anyway,
wrap that shit up.
is this the last one we get with you?
I'm gonna try to make it out the 31st, but I don't really. I think so. I think John was expecting that we would get the money sooner, but we still don't have money like to pay for the house. So closing is still the 31st. So I think I'll be here that weekend. So I should be able to come over. So one more, I think.
This is the world.
Hey.
This is the world in which we live, and
Yes.
so money don't come easy. I guess.
No.
Shit. I don't know. Okay, well, we won't do a big sad like, man, we're gonna miss you.
Yeah.
We're gonna
We
replace
shouldn't do that shit
we're gonna replace you
anyway.
with a big titty, 38-inch bust blonde gal.
That's right. The one on your
Where?
cup.
Tell me where. I haven't seen her.
Yeah, I'll find her.
We'll keep an eye out like Daniel Boone right there. Shit. Okay. Hey, that's gonna probably wrap it up for this fucking week. But appreciate y'all hanging out with us again because man, we're just here to unload.
Oh, I didn't get to talk about Bryce Mitchell being a fucking idiot. I'll do that in 2 weeks.
Hell yeah.
It's so
guy's-
stupid.
I'm sure he'll still be an idiot.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to call him out enough where he actually shows up to like bitch at me for it,
Okay.
and I'm just gonna
Try to choke you out.
I'm gonna just fucking probably get my ass beat by a midget.
No. And I'll just start throwing the stomps down on him like people that violated the mosh pit.
I'll still stand by what I say that he's a fucking idiot.
And you're correct.
All right,
Well,
next 2 weeks I'll have a 10-minute Bryce Mitchell diatribe. Be there.
ESP, UFOs, NFL.
NFL.
Keep on keeping on.
Bye.